Snakes are not the most pleasant animals, especially the venomous ones. Even the slightest contact with their saliva can kill you or paralyze you for a couple of days. It's good if someone rescues you during that time. I will show you the most dangerous snakes on our planet, from small strings seemingly harmless at first glance to real sea monsters. And at the end, there will be a snake whose milligram of venom can send thousands of people to the afterlife. But the scariest thing is that you can encounter it on a regular beach. It is commonly believed that only land snakes are dangerous. But believe me, there's a huge misconception, as truly venomous creatures swim underwater as well. For example, Dubois Sea Snake. It inhabits the expanses from the shores of Western Australia to the islands of New Guinea and New Caledonia. It prefers to live at depths of 3 to 100 feet, surrounded by corals and various bottom sediments. Here live many invertebrates, diverse fish, and even sharks, making this place an ideal refuge and resting place for the snake, which doesn't particularly like being disturbed. It feeds on small fish, injecting them with venom and temporarily paralyzing them. It does the same thing to humans, although it is generally believed that its bite contains toxins in an amount usually insufficient to kill instantly. However, the venom easily copes with the human nervous system, suppressing basic impulses like breathing and motor function. A person doesn't die directly from the venom, but also cannot swim out of the water. Truth be told, these snakes are not particularly aggressive and do not attack without reason. If they approach divers or swimmers, it's more out of pure curiosity than a desire to attack. Yet, there have been enough lethal cases. But let's also talk about death on land. A bite from a coral snake at first glance may seem insignificant, as it usually doesn't cause pain or swelling. But that's just the first impression. Almost immediately after the bite, the victim falls into a catatonic state. The venom causes the human nervous system to chaotically tense muscles, causing convulsions and spasms. Horror! Paralyzed and powerless, the victim becomes easy prey for predators. It sounds threatening, but evolution has laid these characteristics for its reasons. Coral snakes hunt other venomous snakes, possessing unique reflexes, flexibility, and an impressive arsenal for self-defense. They produce a special venom stored in their bodies, constituting a quarter of the total body mass of the snake. Without immediate intervention, the snake's venom can cause muscle paralysis, double vision, and cardiac arrest. Despite being quite reclusive, they can attack if touched or provoked, so it's important to avoid close contact with them. And this snake won't wait to be stepped on. Schlegel's eyelash pit viper is a typical predator that prefers to ambush its prey. This snake patiently waits for the unsuspecting prey to pass by. Sometimes it even chooses a special spot for such ambushes and returns there during the spring bird migration. Over time, these snakes have learned to increase the accuracy of their attacks. Its venom doesn't kill instantly but causes tissue necrosis at the bite site, destroying not just flesh and skin but also the walls of blood vessels. If the venom is not sucked out in time, there is a high chance of fatal outcomes. The pit viper inhabits human tropical forests, often found at elevations up to 8,700 feet above sea level. The snake spends its days lying on branches or hanging from them, holding on with the tip of its prehensile tail. In this position, it can strike, coiled in the air in several rings and thrusting the front part of its body forward. At night, it becomes active and skillfully moves through the branches to hunt for prey. It feeds on various small animals, mammals, frogs, lizards, and even sleeping birds. It's notorious for cases of cannibalism. Schlegel's pit viper uses the bright tip of its tail as bait for prey, waving it from under leaves. Genius, right? Among the residents of some villages in South America, there are rumors that after a venomous strike, the snake winks at its prey, fluttering its eyelashes. Because of this unusual behavior, the snake is sometimes called the eyelash viper. Just take a look at this beauty. The green mamba is an incredibly vigilant, nervous, and extremely agile snake. Its primary habitats are coastal tropical forests, thickets, and forested lands in Western Africa. Although its color is unmistakably different from its black sibling, the most important distinction between the green and black mamba is their temperament. The green mamba is known for its calm and reserved nature, whereas the black mamba often reacts to the surrounding world aggressively. The green mamba very rarely attacks or bites. Usually, if it's disturbed, it starts hissing and then elegantly flees. However, if the disturbance continues, the snake is forced to defend itself and can strike. The The green mamba, like other members of this family, has very strong venom, enough to kill several people with consecutive bites. Although the snake is peaceful and non-aggressive, its coloration makes it very easy to overlook this beauty and step on it. That's why you often see people moving through the jungle poking ahead with a stick. But believe me, sometimes it's even better to encounter a mamba than the snakes I'm going to talk about next. Australia has always been famous for its nature and the dangers that await anyone just outside the city. That's where the tiger snake might be waiting for you, which, despite its relatively peaceful behavior, is considered one of the most venomous terrestrial snakes. It has such a supply of venom that one snake can kill hundreds of people. At the moment of the bite, the snake doesn't skimp on soaking its fangs. The victim dies instantly. The venom of the tiger snake affects the human nervous system, leading to respiratory and cardiac arrest within minutes of the bite. And yes, there is an antidote, but it needs to be administered before paralysis sets in, or it won't help. It's important to understand that the tiger snakes never attack people first, and the bite occurs only in self-defense. But there are still idiots in the world who like to poke unfamiliar snakes with a stick, and the statistics of deaths in Australia confirm that. And where would we be without the cobra? As everyone knows, it's best not to mess with them. The Philippine Cobra, as the name suggests, predominantly inhabits the northern parts of the Philippines, often found on the islands of Masbate, Azria, Mindoro, Catanduanes, and Luzon. It prefers to live near large bodies of water, such as ponds and rivers, where there is an abundant supply of drinking water and a constant source of food. The Philippine Cobra's primary diet consists of small mammals, including mice and rats. However, it also hunts frogs, lizards, birds, and other snakes when the opportunity arises. Occasionally, the cobra eats eggs, but this is less common due to the risk of contact with predatory bird species. The Philippine Cobra is known for its ability to spit venom at enemies and is considered one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Its bite can kill a person in just 30 minutes. Nevertheless, the snake usually avoids contact with people, preferring to hide if possible. People should avoid close contact with the snake and wear sunglasses. They usually try to spray venom into the eyes of their victims. The venom of the Philippine Cobra consists of a postsynaptic neurotoxin that directly affects the victim's respiratory system. One bite from this cobra can be extremely lethal, as the snake injects from 0.0031 to 0.0035 ounces of venom. Without prompt medical treatment, death is guaranteed. Many people somehow don't take adder seriously. A small cowardly snake, what can it possibly do? But death adders are a species of adder originating from Australia and are considered one of the most venomous snakes in the country. They differ from other representatives of their kind in their hunting nature. The snakes lie in wait for their prey, often for several days until the victim passes by. They camouflage themselves under leaves and swiftly attack when the right moment comes. Then, after injecting their venom, the snake waits for the prey to die before feasting. In the face of danger, these snakes do not flee or take on threatening postures. They remain motionless, relying on their coloration, which makes them hard to notice. Because of this behavior, travelers often come face to face with the snake and cannot avoid being bitten. The venom of these snakes is quite powerful and exclusively neurotoxic. Its effect gradually manifests, leading to death 6 hours after the bite due to paralysis of the respiratory muscles. Before the advent of a special serum, half of the people bitten by these snakes died right in the hospital ward. So what do you think of the pathetic adder? Now I'll tell you about another one, even more dangerous than this. The Russell's viper, the largest snake in the viper family from the former USSR, can reach almost 7 feet in length, including the tail, and weigh up to 22 pounds. It is characterized by a large white head with a sharp neck constriction, and it has vertical eyes and pupils. On the top part of its head, there are rigid scales, except for the scales on the tip of the snout, which are edgeless. The Russell's viper is considered one of the most dangerous snakes for humans and domestic animals. In critical moments, it can strike at the length of its body in an average time of 0.08 seconds, which is faster than a cobra. In comparison, human reaction time is about 0.1 to 0.2 seconds, practically leaving no chance to parry its attack. Even experienced snake catchers have fallen victim to the Russell's viper, as it gives no indication of its intent to attack. Larger and more muscular individuals are hard to hold. Trying to free its head, the viper makes sharp and strong jerks and sometimes can bite the catcher. The venom of the Russell's viper has a pronounced hemolytic effect and is only less toxic than the venoms of cobras, taipans, and the black mamba. Despite the existence of a vaccine against its venom, some victims don't receive it in time, and 20% of those bitten perish. The venom destroys red blood cells, causes blood clotting and internal bleeding, accompanied by severe pain, dizziness, and vomiting. If an antidote is not administered in time, a person can die within 2 to 3 hours of the bite. Look at this little one. How did it make to this list? But appearances can be deceiving. Ephas are small but extremely dangerous snakes characterized by aggression, irritability, and deadly venom. They have the ability to strike lightning fast, making their bite particularly dangerous. Mortality after an Epha bite is very high, and in the regions of their habitat in Africa, Arabia, and Southwest Asia, Ephas are responsible for more human deaths than all other snake species combined. The bite of a sand Epha is extremely dangerous, with a mortality rate of about 20%. While not the most venomous snake in the world, statistics show that 1 out of every 7 people on the planet who died from a snake bite was bitten by a sand Epha. Unlike other snakes on my list, they're not afraid of humans and often enter homes, outbuildings, and cellars in search of food. There have been cases where Ephas have settled in dwellings, even directly under floors. Not the best bet. Better to have mice. Gunther's false cobras, also known as brown snakes, are members of the aspid family. There are 9 species in their genus, although they are not much different from each other in shape and body length. They have variable coloration from yellowish to silvery gray, but all species have dark markings along the body. These snakes prefer warm, dry, and overgrown places, such as abandoned gardens, construction sites, and other secluded corners in southern climatic zones. It's important to note that Gunther's false cobras are found on the Australian continent, so the chances of encountering them in person are not that high. These snakes are the second most venomous in the world. Their venom contains toxins that can cause nausea, diarrhea, and kidney failure in the victim. If emergency medical care is not provided, the bitten person will die within a few hours. False cobras can send warning signals by expanding their hood and then attacking if threatened. They're especially aggressive during the mating season, when they search for partners and prepare for the breeding season, including laying eggs. And the creature that awaits you on beaches all over the world. The Belcher sea snake, according to many experts, possesses venom that is about 100 times more toxic than the venom of other snake species in the world. To understand how dangerous its bite is, it's enough to mention that even 1 drop of venom from a king cobra can take the lives of more than 150 people, while just a few milligrams of venom from Belcher's sea snake can kill more than 1,000 people. This snake belongs to the aspid family and was named after the English admiral and explorer Edward Belcher, who first discovered this species of snake. It is small in size with a total length of 1 to 2.5 feet and, like most sea snakes, has a paddle-shaped tail that helps it swim. Its preferred habitats are reefs, and it is almost always in the water, able to hold its breath for up to 8 minutes. This species of snake is common in the Pacific Ocean, off the coasts of Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, Vietnam, New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands. Although these snakes are mostly non-aggressive and divers can swim peacefully next to them, one should not try to catch this snake. In most cases, the snake makes a dry bite without injecting venom, just to scare and escape. But if a person behaves too aggressively, the snake will not leave them any chance. As you can see, it is not advisable to behave aggressively when encountering snakes. Don't poke them with sticks, don't kick them, because even a tiny and harmless snake can be the last thing you see. Thank you for watching.